Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemel Shai, Bashimaka Kodash, the bonus to our apostles and elders of James, great millstone who teach and rule well, and continue to teach and rule well through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashimel Shai. Peace, love, and salutations to that came in the four corners of this earth, pushing this word with all truth and sincerity. To the speckled bird Akim and Akwat out there who are tuned in, listening, and learning with hopes of being delivered by Yahweh Bashimel Shai. To you I say Shalom. This is now from James Jamaica camp. And before I begin, let me start out by saying um, the true name of the God of the Bible, which this world ignorantly calls God or Jehovah, that is Yahweh. Again, that's Yahweh, the true name of the only begotten Son, which this world ignorantly calls Jesus or Yeshua, that is Yahweh. Again, that is Yahweh, right? And that's in the Hebrew tongue, according to Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 9. We would be given a pure language to call upon the names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, you know, um, as one, you know, as well as according to Acts chapter 26 and 14, we have been given, well, the Son of the Heavenly Father spoke to Saul in the Hebrew tongue, you know, therefore he had a Hebrew name, he was a Hebrew Israelite, right? So in the Hebrew, the pure tongue, the Lashwan Kodash, spoken of in Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 9, these are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh and Yahushai. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Israelites according to the prophecies written in Deuteronomy chapter 28, as according to biblical and secular history, right? And according to the Spirit, and most important, according to faith, right? And that's predominantly because we have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, so we will look like all these other nations by way of reproduction. Now, the MOTB, the mark of the beast spoken of in Revelation chapter 13, verse 16, that is the RFID microchip, you know, and right now, this lesson will be going into the infrastructure of the MOTB being furthered or progressing, right? Going into, as you can see, the title of the lesson is basically this headline right here, which says Worldcoin says, they will allow companies to govern and governments to use its ID system. Now, real quick, going into what Worldcoin is, right? Um, just to get into it real quick. So WorldCoin, right, it aims to address income inequality through its unique World ID feature, which will serve as proof of personhood, right? And I feel like we can look out for this word more often, no? Proof of personhood, the whole rise of AI and deepfakes. But it says, as described by Sam Altman, right? Um, I'm just going to read what I highlighted because I believe that these are just the points that I want to make. It says the Crypto Focus project was co-founded by the trio with a three-part mission to create a global, unique digital identity. And for those who are in the know, we know that this is the direction that the international elites are going to. Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the elites of them, international banking elites, so global digital world, right, upon which they will have complete control over the masses and to have a digital ID in order to be a part of that, you have to have a digital ID. It says a global currency, right, WorldCoin token, and an app that enables payment, purchases, and transfers using its token alongside other cryptocurrencies and traditional assets. So it's alongside, other cryptocurrencies. So I say that because it's not only based upon cryptocurrency. I mean, it was built upon that. No, the whole world coin and the digital identity initiative. However, their aim at this point, as you can see in the first title, is to get governments to use their system. So therefore, their aim is also to be a medium of recognition when it comes on to finance, and we're talking about legal tender, right? And we know that CBDCs are now on the rise, and you have to have a digital ID, which it will go alongside CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. It says These are four major components of Worldcoin: scan eyeballs at orb centers, generate a unique digital identity, right? And then, these are two which aren't that important really. These are the main factors that we're dealing with here, because what's happening is ultimately all of these different medium or methods of identifying a person and transferring or doing finance will become obsolete, because everything leads back to that small grain of rice. Well, saying figuratively speaking, but it leads back to that small device that will be implanted under the hand, right? Which the World Economic Forum speaks of now at this point. It says, so let me just jump to this one. It says, at the heart of the WorldCoin project is the concept of proof of personhood established by an eye scanning device called the Orb. With the rise of artificial intelligence, proving identity in the future will be more important than ever, and the question, human or machine, will definitely take center stage. That's all I highlighted on that. Articles, the links to the articles are in the description box for those who want to check it out. So now this one, it says WorldCoin says it will allow companies, right? This is no, companies, right? Governments to use its ID system. So let's get to the points that I highlighted, right? Actually, I was reading from top on this one, but let me see if I should get to the points. Hmm. All right, let's just get to the points on this one, right? Because I think I was reading from the top and I didn't. Okay. All right, yeah, let's read from the top. It says WorldCoin will expand its operation to sign up more users globally and aims to allow other organizations to use its iris scanning and identity verifying technology. Ooh. A senior manager for the company behind the project told Reuters. Co-founded by OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, WorldCoin launched last week, requiring users to give their iris scans in exchange for a digital ID, and in some countries, free cryptocurrency as part of plans to create an identity and financial network. There you go. You also, mean that the device, the RFID, CHIP, will be based upon the infrastructure that's being built right now, where there will be a network or framework of a digital, where digital and financial financial digital financial details will be based upon, and a digital identity will be based upon, right? It says, um, okay, I'm just jumping here. It says, um, Makiera said WorldCoin would continue rolling out operations in Europe, Latin America, Africa, and all parts of the world that will accept us. WorldCoin's website mentions various possible applications, including distinguishing humans from artificial intelligence, enabling global democratic processes, like voting, and so on. It says, and showing a potential path to universal basic income (UBI), although these outcomes are not guaranteed. So they want to put themselves as one of the mediums for universal basic income, which we know that universal basic income is a part of the agenda of these elites. Can get the entire global population to accept one global currency, and they, based off their status, which the elites will decide, they will get a monthly, or I'm not sure how it will be, but more than likely a monthly stipend that should sustain them for the rest of the month, right? It says most people interviewed by Reuters at sign-up sites in Britain, India, and Japan last week said they were joining in order to receive 25 free WorldCoin tokens, the company says verified users can claim. So there you go. A reason why I highlighted this is because that's how people's minds are. Give them something for free, give them some um, form of encouragement by means of bribes, and they'll take it, yo. They'll eventually take that chip as well, just as how they did in the time of pandemic with the big V's. You know, they were I know for one out in Jamaica, they were bribing hard from patty to from smallest thing of like a patty to money, winning the lottery or some shit. Shit. Says, I don't think we are going to be the ones generating universal basic income. If we can do the infrastructure that allows for governments or other entities to do so, we would be very happy, Makera said. So they want, they're building that infrastructure, yo. facilitate universal basic income. That's why they're gathering so much digital identity. And look at this now, companies could pay Worldcoin to use its digital identity system. For example, if a coffee shop wants to give everyone one free coffee, then Worldcoin's technology could be used to ensure that people do not claim more than one coffee without the shop needing to gather personal data. You know, and it's the same thing with universal basic income as well. When the rulers of the world that at that point, which the elites want to be, when they decide that it's time to give out that stipend or universal basic income, then they won't have to you know be working very hard to get that. You just do it by the system, right? Uh, and it's not only limited to that, it also plays into putting up restrictions, right? What is allowed, what is not allowed, and then specifying that to a specific person, or narrowing that down to a specific person, you know. So it's all tied into the RFID market, which is the market beast. 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. We read it in the NLT. It says, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes, right? Because they paint it they paint a picture of humanity, of getting everyone included, not getting anyone leaving anyone out or forsaken. But we know ultimately what the scheme is about, and we won't be outwitted, we won't be caught up in the different um, um, plans, crafted plans that they put in place to entrap us, ensnare us. Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which is that system that we're under right now, right? And the image of the beast is being built, it's being furthered, more and more, because ultimately it's Esau and their agenda. They want to fulfill their agenda, right? And it's being furthered to that point, right? That point of having the entire world, and mainly you Israelites, subjugated, you know to a point of servitude, right? Become subservient unto them, to worship them, and push systems like these that are being developed are just to further that agenda, right? That the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So they decide that you're going to be outside of that, you know um, directly and indirectly you will be killed, because in how indirectly, indirectly, if you're not a part of the system, right? Companies cannot identify you because you don't come up on their record. You won't be able to buy, sell, enter uh, government buildings, supermarkets, so on, hospitals, so on and so forth, right? Because you're not a part of their system, right? So it says, and he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, the name of the beast or the number of his name. That, when you break that down, that mark goes back to the Greek word paragma, right, which means a stamp or an imprinted mark, which will come about by that syringe boring the skin, you know, and it will be like a stamp, like a mark, right? Mark branding upon horses, right? A mark stamp on the forehead or right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. And there isn't one Antichrist. Antichrist just mean your anti-Messiah. And yes, ultimately, Sidon, they are, let's say, the ultimate form of being anti-Messiah. But anti-Messiah or antichrist can be those of among Israel as well, just those who oppose the Son of the Heavenly Father. And Esau, opposes the Heavenly Father more than anyone else, fighting against the Son of the Heavenly Father, and will fight against the Son of the Heavenly Father when he does return, right? But then when you go into the root word of the word charagma, you're going to get charax, which speaks to the syringe that is being used to insert that device. It says a pale or a stake or a palisade, a rampart, which John was speaking, had to compare to what he knew back then, which the syringe to him looked like a palisade, right? Nope, not the palisade that we're looking for. Not the palisade we're looking for. Let's go to images. Here you go. Right, so like this, a palisade, right? Like this. You know, let me try something here. Let's say let's range. Right, so this right here, I think it would give them like a comparison, but but either way, you get the image, you get the image, you get the image. Right. All right, that's right. So, and then we're going to further into that word, character. You're going to get grapho, which speaks to the information that will be on that small device here, right? To write with reference to the form of letters, right? Expressing written characters, right? To delineate letters on a tablet, parchment paper, or other material, right? So I can't tell what the material is made up of for the chip, but you get the drift, right? So that's that on that still, as you know, the judgment for those who take the mark of the beast, Revelation chapter 14, you know, Revelation chapter 6 tells us as well, the punishment for those um who takes this device. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man will worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his right hand or his forehead, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Almighty, which is poured out without mixture. Right, so you ever get the pure wrath of the Heavenly Father, you won't be diluted into the cup of his indignation, righteous anger, because that's a form of idolatry. Right? It says, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Revelation chapter 6. Right. Let's see. Oh, no, not 6. I think it's. Give me a second. Yep, right here. Revelation 16 and 1 says, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of the Almighty upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped the image. So for those who take that device, it's just that death that's awaiting and death in the most painful way that you can imagine, right? Isaiah 10 verse 20. It says, because this is the mindset that we ought to have. We have to rely upon the Heavenly Father instead of Esau Edom, right? And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Almighty, the Holy One of Israel in truth. You know, so in times such as that, we ought to resist and keep the patience of the Heavenly Father and wait on the Heavenly Father to show us His mercy, right? If it's even to the point of death, it's easier said than done. But for those who wait upon the Heavenly Father, you know, um, will be kept, as it says in Revelation chapter 3, verse 10, right? Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So keep the patience of the Heavenly Father, remain in this ministry, serve the Heavenly Father in sincerity as best as possible, and wait for His mercies, and endure to the very end. So all praises glory and honor to Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kodash. Again, the honors to our apostles and elders of James Cornerstone. Peace, love, and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.